Hello, my name is Reid, and the certification that I have chosen for IS 3596 is the Power BI Data Analyst PL 300 certification. And the platform that I used to study for this was Pluralsight, the intermediate course that was shown earlier on when we were walking through the certifications earlier in this class. So this is what the platform looks like here. This has 12 modules, and I did about 9 of them for a total of 11.5 hours of study. Module 1 is clean, transform, and load data with Power BI. It's an introduction to basically importing data and then preparing it for models. So some small amount of cleaning, basically. Module 2 here goes into grouping your data by tables and deciding on the granularity that you want to use, as well as defining the relationships between tables. Module 3 here, gathering data into Power BI, goes a little bit deeper into preparing your data for a model through the use of queries, as well as connecting to external data sources. Module 4 here goes into how to structure your model for better usability on the user end so that it just looks a little bit better. Module 5 here teaches you how to create formulas and expressions by using built-in DAX expressions, or data analysis expressions is what that stands for. Module 6 teaches you how to optimize your model and speed up the refresh rate of reports. Module 7 here goes a little bit deeper into reports and when to implement various visualizations, how to use them. Module 8, this one teaches you how to build dashboards so that the user can easily view and manipulate the data that you have laid out through your models. And then module 9 here kind of goes a little bit into storytelling, as well as beginning to prepare you for the actual PL 300 exam. In terms of which of these modules were the most helpful for my learning throughout the course of this, I would honestly just say that these first 3 basically lay the groundwork for one, just how to effectively load your data into the system, as well as clean it, just prepare it for the models. From there on out, it's relatively intuitive. All right, so 5 skills that I'm going to go over here are basically the foundational steps to creating your own report in Microsoft Power BI. So starting with loading data, how to get data into the system. Next, skill 2 is going to be merging queries. Skill 3 is going to be splitting text. Skill 4 is going to be creating relationships. And skill 5 is going to be actually creating the reports. All right, so skill 1 of loading data kind of shows you part of the power of Power BI and the fact that you can import data in from so many different sources. It's not just limited to an Excel spreadsheet. So there's a lot of different places it can come from. I'm starting with a database that Pluralsight uses to get you started in here. So the first one that we're going to get is an access database. And this is also where you can start to connect to automatically updating data so that your model updates itself as you go along. So we're going to open an access database. It's going to be in this folder. Actually works demo. So that is basically all of the sales and customer data that is within this database here. Should see it in just a second. Yeah, so once you're in this screen here, you want to click the different files that you want. So this is just basically almost comma separated values. So we load that in. All right, so we have that access database loaded into Power BI now. However, the information that's in there is pretty basic, and you actually need some metadata to actually describe what's going on in there. So now if we navigate over here on the left to the table view, this kind of shows us all of our data. We can see that we have everything that we need loaded in here. So we have our customer table, our sales table, and then we have all of our US Census Bureau data for geographic data, and then all of our survey data for demographic data. Skill number 2 that I want to talk about is going to be merging queries. So right here, we are in the table view. I did a little bit of cleaning up some data to just make it a little bit more readable. But so what you want to do from here is go to transform data. This used to be a theory tab, but it looks a little bit different now. So you go to transform data. This is where you go to do all of your data manipulation to clean everything up. Now, so I have a geographic table here that has zip code and a state and like place identifier number. However, a lot of the more descriptive information is over here in the geography tab. We want to make sure that these match up nicely. So what you would want to go is go into here into zip code, then you're going to go to merge queries up here in the top right. And then you will choose a table that you want to merge to. So that's going to be our geography table. And so this has a little bit more information in it, but it has state and place in it. So to basically match these up and create a relationship between 2 tables, you know, shift click state and place, shift click state and place. And so this now allows you to specify the kind of join that you want to do in order to merge these. We want to go with an inner join to basically get rid of any outlier information that's not going to be necessary. And so then you click OK, that'll apply that to the database. And then now we have this basically puts itself into our zip code table, and you can expand it out basically combining the 2. However, we already have state place in here. Component is not necessary. So we just want to basically see the name and the logical record number, which is just basically a folder number. So once you specify that, should expand out so that you can see the name that applies to each one of these zip codes, basically. All right, skill number 3 is going to be another data transformation technique. So essentially, a lot of these other tables here that contain the information that we're after use a state abbreviation to specify where a sale was made or where a customer is from. But this table, our primary table here, doesn't contain that information. So what we can do is data splitting by either delimiter or by position. So we can go here to split column. We have all the information here, California, but it's broken by Los Angeles City or Linwood City. So we're going to go to split column by delimiter. This allows you to specify where to split each column. So we want to go in here and make a custom delimiter. Now, each one of those contains a comma and a space between the data that we want. So we'll do a comma and space, and we want this at each occurrence of the delimiter, which should be only once in each cell. So now what we have is a column that just has the state in it, but it is not yet a state abbreviation like CA or WA. So what we'll go in here and do is something similar, split column again by number of characters. We just want those first 2 characters. So it's going to be number of characters is 2, once as far left as possible. So what we'll do is that, and that does that for each row. So now we have our state abbreviation here that we can use to connect to some of these other tables, and it's going to help us a lot when it comes to creating reports and dashboards. All right, so skill number 4 that we're going to be going for is creating relationships between these tables that we looked at. But the main one here is going to be customer and sales ID because they both have business entity ID, and theoretically they should be the same. So all you need to do is go and just drag and drop here. That's essentially creating a line between the two. But when you go in here, one, it starts to set it as a many-to-many cardinality, which is not necessarily correct. And if you go in to try and change it to one-to-one cardinality, it starts saying stuff about duplicate values, and that there are a couple of reasons for that. So we're going to cancel. We go back into our table view here. Now, the main place that it's getting these duplicate values from is in the, let's see, address type tab. So it has home addresses, and if you scroll down far enough, it's going to show a shipping address as well. And a lot of the times those are the same. So what we were going to want to do is just go in. We're going to have to load more here so we can get both. Unselect all. Just want the home address. We're going to click OK. Then we're going to need to migrate that change through close and apply, and then should be able to go in and create a relationship here and save. And now, if we pull these 2 apart, we have a relationship between the 2 tables that's going to help our reports quite a bit. All right, skill 5 is going to be the final skill, and it's basically the culmination of what Power BI is capable of. So a lot of what we've seen before is cleaning and transforming data in order to prepare it better for display here. So essentially what you can start with is you can go in here, it gives you all kinds of visualizations. You can customize these using Python or R, any statistical tool that you need. I'm just going to start with a table here. And so we have all of our data, all of our fields over here on the side. So this can kind of allow us to ask questions. So let's say, state province name. So we have loaded into this database, Washington, Oregon, and California. If we want to know what % of our customers are from each of these states, you can change it to a pie chart. Sometimes Power BI will change it automatically for you. So now we have a pie chart there if we want to know what % of our customers are from where. You can hover over, you can superimpose the numbers on here. So 57% from California. Say we wanted to create another table, say % of total customers and marital status. If we want to know, for the purposes of marketing, how many of our customers are married or single, we can once again change that into a pie chart. We can, let's say we want to select new table, state price, and prior year sales. If we change that to horizontal bar chart, nothing really shows up there. It's because it is expecting a year format. So you're gonna have to go into your date format here. Year, that comes from some of our survey data that we imported earlier on, and we can see what our previous year sales are for each year, 2012, 2013, 2014 by each state. And so, yeah, that is the Microsoft Power BI Data Analyst PL300 certification that I'm still continuing to work towards. Thank you.